Nick and Mud's top 100 games. But does anyone care what they have to say? I know I don't. Cause they may dab, they might scream, they may say some things that are plain wrong. Dab on it, dab on it. But they are dumb bing bongs. Matthew Jude's better.
What is up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy.
I'm Mike Murphy.
We are the Brothers Murph, and this is the continuation of our Top 100 list. We've done this so many times now.
This is
going to be 40 through 31.
So we like it.
And just, we say the same things. Two things. One, we're different humans. We're not the same person. Two, we're not bought by anybody.
Not bought by nobody.
Keep saying we are. We're not.
All right.
Let's
you might
go.
think, hey, this is a joke that just keeps going on and on and on and won't end. And maybe you're right.
You're not.
But that's why we're not doing it anymore.
Okay.
We're not bought.
Exactly. We're not bought at all. Okay. It was just a joke. You know, we're done. Okay. Let's go on. Let's go straight into it. Mike, number 40. Let's go to it. Number 40.
Let's do it.
40.
Now, we're not bought. And this is not anything to do with the sponsorship.
No.
I'll tell you right now. This list is hot.
Yes.
And you're going to need some David Shield International Medical Insurance based on how hot this list is. Because we're about to blow your minds.
Yeah, exactly. It needs a
We're
little
hoping it's a
burn.
mind doctor.
Here's the thing. You can get nice discounted burn ointment through them. And that's what you need because this list is so hot.
And we know people watch the Dice Tower from all over the world, so David Shield's got you covered.
Indeed.
My number 40 is this. Simply. That's right. My number 40 is a rolling right. By that means it's a draw and right. While you're trying to live your best life up in the suburbs. My number 40 is Welcome to. Welcome to is an awesome game where you're drawing out cards and then you are basically building 3 streets of a neighborhood and you're putting your addresses down. Sounds fun. And all of the addresses, the numbers are going to be paired with a certain thing you can do. Sometimes you can improve the landscaping on one of the streets.
Yeah.
You can build fences to make like little blocks of houses.
Yeah.
You can build pools if you want to live that pool life and live fancy life.
I'm all about that pool life.
So you always have to put a number down on your street if you legally can. And then you have these optional powers. That's all it is you have 3 options. You choose one of the options, one of the numbers paired with an ability. And then we go again and again and again until basically one of the end conditions is met. Usually it's that someone just can't place the numbers because you get more and more locked into like, I can only take a 9. Like, if no 9 pops up, like, that's it. That's all I can put in. I didn't plan my street very well. And you're trying to have, like, the best neighborhood possible. So I know you talked about it before. It's something that's really fun. It's something that we played live many times on the interwebs with people.
Twitch.
And I love that about this game that, like, there's no amount that's too many for this game to
Literally infinite.
handle. Yeah, because, like, so long as everyone has their sheet either through the app or, like, somewhere to write it down, if everyone can see the cards, we can all play together and we'll all end up with like very
different street
neighborhoods, even though we have the same options available at all times. And I love that about it. So Welcome to is my number 40.
Cool. My number 40 is a game. I'm curious what ends up on your list. But it is another game that we actually don't own, but we really want to get, and that is World's Fair 1893.
Ooh,
1893. I think it's
1893.
World's Fair is my number 40. I really like this game. This is a game that was introduced to us by a friend named Marty who comes to our game group. He really likes this game. It's a game. It's actually an area control game. Although, like from the outset, it doesn't look like it would be. It doesn't look like
it's
it
not
would
some
be.
big map with like
Yeah, but it's based around the World's Fair. So there's 5 different spots. There's like agriculture, and there's like technology, machines, and all this different kind of stuff. And you're essentially trying to gain control through little cubes, which are just like your followers.
It's one of the most cubes on any of these areas.
Yeah, and you're trying to gain control of these different areas. And then it's interesting though because whenever you place a cube on an area, like on your turn, the first thing you have to do is place a cube. Boom, and then you get all the cards that are on that area. And then you have those cards just down in front of you, but there are these brown cards, which are special cards, essentially, and they can do a whole bunch of different stuff. They can allow you to put down another cube right where you put it down. They can allow you to move a cube. They can allow you, like, if you put one down, regardless of where you put one down, you always get to put one down in the red area as well. But the interesting thing is you don't have a choice whether or not to play these cards. On your turn, if you have any brown cards, you have to play all of them. You have to play all of them. You don't have a choice. So it's this really interesting thing where you put it down and then you have to play all your brown cards. And then hopefully wherever you put them down, you're going to get more because that's a good way to move stuff around, manipulate stuff. It's very, very fun. It's really great. Plays really good at 2, 3, 4 scales super, super well.
Quick.
Yeah, very quick. Absolutely great game by Renegade Games. World's Fair is a wonderful, wonderful game. And again, area control, but it doesn't feel mean at all, which is nice. But my number 40 is World's Fair. I absolutely love it. And again, a game that like we're going to get, I know at some point, just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Not yet. It's coming up.
Yeah. Speaking of coming up, number 39 is coming up.
Let's do it right now, Nick. Why don't you start it? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
39.
All right, number 39 is brought to you by Irons. That thing that if you got this as a kid, you'd probably cry.
Yeah.
But now that you're growing up, it's a great gift, man. Thanks.
It is.
Thanks right there for the iron. Very important.
Indeed.
Very necessary.
Thought of that?
I don't know.
Who's like, I'm taking
Who just put like a frying pan down on some clothes on accident, picked it up, and like, my shirt looks amazing. My tunic looketh great.
Thank you, Sunbeam. Number 39 for me, Michael, is a game that you mentioned a while ago. I can't quite remember when, but you're on my side. And it is a game by Portal Games, and it is Robinson Crusoe, Cursed of the Cursed whatever.
Just, you know what?
Robinson Crusoe.
Just having a bad time on an island.
You're having the rough day on an island.
Oh yeah.
This game is a game that is 100% experience for me. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay is great. Like, it's a wonderful game. It is
an
it's
experience.
fun, super thematic, wonderful. But it's the experience. This game is so thematic and just really puts you through it. And one thing I love about it, I don't think you mentioned last time, is like the fact that events come back up. You're constantly having events happen and stuff like that. And there's a lot of times where you can choose to do something and do something, or do something and then the event goes back in the deck. Or sometimes it just goes back in the deck and it'll just come up later, but you're shuffling the deck.
You have no idea when.
You have no idea when. And at least personally for me, I never look at what it is. So they're like, oh, a snake crawled into your pants. Put this card back in the deck. And you're like, that's not going to be good.
That snake's going to come out.
And then later on, you're like, oh, and then you come back and it's like, oh, the snake bit you in the thigh. And now you're dying really quickly. And you're like, what? Like, it just ends up being this like,
what about that snake?
Yeah, what am I going to do? And it's so difficult. And the game just runs you ragged. I mean, straight up runs you ragged in the best way.
It doesn't take it easy on you at all.
I had heard about this game for a while, you know, and we had really wanted a survival game. People kept saying, you need to get Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Everything you're talking about, just get Robinson Crusoe. And we finally did. We tried it, and it's amazing for a game experience alone. I don't think it's a game we can play too often because it just hurts so much. But it's amazing. I love it so much. Robinson Crusoe, Curse of the Walmart, or whatever it is.
Curse of the Walmart. That one, there is no survival. You just flip over the first card and like, well, you're dead. You got stampeded on Black Friday.
You're on Black Friday?
Go in there?
Nah, too bad.
You shouldn't have gone in there.
But Robinson Crusoe is my 39. I absolutely adore it. It's great. If you want a real experience in a game, go play Robinson Crusoe.
Absolutely. My number 39 is an experience in a whole different way. It is light. It's fast and furious. It is amazing fun, and you better have some quick hands because we're playing Clask right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Clask is basically like air hockey on a tabletop.
But better.
Right. So it uses this little pawn that has a magnet that's underneath. So your hand is actually underneath the board and you're moving this magnetized pawn around on the top and you're trying to whack this little ball around.
Yeah.
And you're trying to score into this other little circular goal on the other side. Yeah. That's all you're trying to do. So it's like air hockey. They're just like whacking the ball around. But there's also these three little magnets that roll around the board. If you like the ball hits it and stuff, that if you get two of those that stick to your pawn,
'cause everything's magnetic,
then you lose a point, or the other team gains a point rather. And so it's just fun and furious and fast, and like I love it. Just gets me fired up.
This is a game you play, you would look at and you go, this would be fun once.
Yes, but it's super
so
not.
not.
It's
like,
so
yeah,
fun
like
all the time.
It is so much fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we really
I didn't even think about putting it on my list. It didn't even occur to me. Like, but like, oh, it's on my list, but it should be, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, next year, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's awesome. I get pumped up every single time because you'll just have a rally. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then you finally like do when it rolls in. And you get so stoked.
Yeah.
Or you actually go and it bounces around and goes in your own goal.
Yeah. The amount of own goals is real high.
Oh, it's pretty high. And it's really, really fun. We love playing it live online, and it's just I get fired up every time. It never gets less fun. It never gets less fun.
So much fun.
So that's my number 39, Clask.
All right, Clask. All right, let's go on to number 38.
Let's do it.
38. 38. 38.
Man, I wish I had a real friend. Lil Fishy off! All right, 38.
It's a noisy friend to have. That's what
Indeed. My number 38 is your
it's gonna
turn
go
first,
second.
Mike. Is your first turn
Yeah,
first,
you don't
Mike.
mind. I mean, we get a fish friend, and now you just can you stare at it for a while?
You go. I'll do this for
All
a
right,
while.
fine. My number 38 has been mentioned by Nick before. It's very fun, light game that's similar to kind of Patchwork in terms of having a bunch of weirdly shaped pieces that you're trying to fit into a specific area. It is Barren Park.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I love this game, man.
You really do.
It's a
I figured you liked it more than me.
yeah, it's a very highly rated game, one that we don't even own yet, but will certainly at some point. It's just fun to like build out your little zoo, your little bear park. And you have different types of bears and stuff which represent the different enclosures, but you're trying to fill and cover certain symbols on your boards that will allow you to get other types of tiles, which then help you fill out your board even more.
Yeah.
And it's just really simple. It's
Yeah.
very light, man. It's really light.
Really
You just
streamlined, yeah.
Are just trying to like get a couple different boards and filling out your thing as best you can to score points and be kind of the first to certain things to surround certain areas, put statues down and stuff like that. But it's just light and easy, fun, satisfying to work on the little puzzle, but like it's similar in the way that Patchwork kind of is just like it just like I feel very at ease as I play and just like work on this
Well,
puzzle.
Patchwork is pretty cutthroat ultimately.
Kind
You
of,
know?
yeah.
And it's like
because
Barren
it's
Park
just a one
isn't that
versus
way.
one.
Yeah.
Barren Park doesn't feel quite that same way. So that's my number 38, Barren Park.
Cool.
What about you, man?
My number 38 is watch it. It's very mesmerizing.
Do you ever think that fish think about what's life like on the outside? Probably not. They're not very smart.
My number 38 is a game that Mike mentioned, I think, in his last list, and this is a game called Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a wonderful game where you are trees.
It's a good game.
That's all it is. It's all it is.
This fish is very clumsy.
Yeah, it's very clumsy and very energetic. And so this is a game where you are trees and you are vying for control. It's kind of an area control game, but you are trying to get light. Light is your currency. And the game, I'm not going to go super into detail because we talked about it a lot last time, but the game is just absolutely great. It's got such great 3D table presence. It's ultimately very simple, maybe like a hair above Gateway, and has the best game board, like player board in the business, in my opinion.
Yes.
Completely language independent, as I think all, if not most, if not all, Blue Orange games are.
They strive to be as much as humanly
It's
possible.
really wonderful. I mean, and the game is just, it's so much fun. More cutthroat than you think it'd be. I probably like it most at 3. 2, it's a little too open. 4, it's a little too, like, getting in each other's way.
Sure.
3
Three
and 4 is
solid.
best, but 3 particularly, I'm like, this is great because it's, you're getting each other's way, but it's not quite so bad. But nonetheless, I absolutely love it. Photosynthesis is my 38 for all the reasons Mike said, and for all the reasons Gerald here said.
Boom.
Just great.
Thanks, Gerald. Should we do 37?
Yeah, might as well.
What do you think, little buddy?
Yeah.
He's just going to keep swimming. I don't think he cares.
37.
All right, number 37, cruising right along. Number 37 is a game that Mike mentioned, I believe, his last list, and this is a game about woodland critters, which I think was like the theme of this year. You know, woodland critters. And this game is What are you?
I just want to smell like the wood, so I got a Glade candle.
Oh,
Just trying
okay.
to smell. I'm trying to give some atmosphere.
Okay, cool. It's nice. Can you spell it home? It's great.
God, what's the game?
Lovely. The game is Everdell. Talking about the woods. The woods are great. Everdell is all about the woods. Everdell is I mentioned a couple lists ago about how Stone Age used to be our go-to intro worker placement game.
Yeah.
This now is my go-to intro worker placement
Hard to
game.
beat.
Because the game is labeled as a worker placement game, but in my opinion, it's much more of a tableau/engine building game. And
Yeah.
worker placement is like the second or third mechanic. But the worker placement is very, very simple. It's like you have these cards that you're trying to put in your city, and the cards are either constructions or critters. And all constructions have a critter that goes along with them. But it's very simple. To put the card in play, For critters, you're going to need berries. So it'll be like 3 berries, and then you can put this card in play. For construction, for like this house, you're going to need like 2 stone and wood. And you're like, cool. So all the worker placement spots, for the most part, are just going to get resources.
Yeah,
so it makes sense as an intro game because it's not hard to explain. Like, you need berries, go here. It's where you get berries. You need wood, go here. It's where you get wood. You know, and it's very, very simple. But the game is just absolutely gorgeous, and we're big suckers for good looking games, and just and on top of that, I absolutely love the game. It's light, it's fun, it just goes over well, and it's just an absolute blast. I like it a lot. Everdell is wonderful. It's a game that like is very pretty, but it's not just a pretty face, you know. It's just it's got a lot of game underneath it, and I absolutely adore it.
Good call, dude.
Yeah.
My number 37 is a cool game that came out at Gen Con that is recreating life to a degree in Native American culture, and it's Wendake. So it's about Native American tribes in kind of the Midwest area, the Great Lakes
Michigan
area.
kind of area.
Yeah. And it's sort of it's interesting. It's kind of like, there's some area control, resource management. It's an interesting game because there's basically 4 tracks of scoring.
Yeah.
And there's 2 up on the top of the board, 2 on the bottom. And it's similar to a lot of games where you have to really balance stuff because you're only on the top half going to score whichever track is lower. Yep. And on the bottom half, you're only going to score which track is lower. So you have to make sure that on all 4 tracks, you're kind of moving similarly. You're not leaving one area behind, whether that be like kind of military or mask ceremonies in the different areas. You really have to kind of balance life. And there's some area control that takes place on the map, but it's not like brutal, really.
No, not at all.
Because if you're fighting, it's like both people are going to lose
Yeah.
people. It's just a fact. It's not like, I have this much strength and I crush you. It's
Yeah, the
like,
fighting is no dice roll. It's like, if you're fighting, it's 1 for 1. I lose a warrior, he loses a warrior. If I end up having more warriors, I'm going to win because I just have more people to lose, essentially.
And they go back to the longhouse and you have to like basically bring them back.
And they don't die, they just get injured.
Yeah, they get injured, which is also cool. It's just like, there's a temporary setback. But like, it you have to kind of pick and choose your battles, and you can coexist in the same areas peacefully. You don't have to fight.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's kind of like, it's not just, it's an Indian game about fighting. You know what I mean? You're like, no, it's about Native American life.
And culture,
and like culture and like collecting, beavers and pelts and doing some hunting and gathering resources. And there might be fighting, but it's not, they're not just like, the bad side characters of a cowboy game or something.
Yeah.
So like, that's just a really cool thing and a theme we really appreciate. And I like that they took cares to try to make it, culturally appropriate to that area. They're like, you're not going to see teepees because the folks that lived in this area at the time did not move around. They didn't have teepees. They built longhouses. So you're not going to see teepees in this game, even though that's what we generally associate with Native Americans. You know what I mean? And I just really appreciate that about the game.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just an interesting game in terms of what do you focus on? How do you balance everything out?
The mechanics are great.
And the mechanics are really good. So Wendake is my 30-something or other. I mean, it's a great game.
Yeah,
37.
great. All right, cool. That was 37.
Let's do 36.
36. Pah.
36, I guess. I think.
So my number 36 is a really great game that uses an app in a fantastic way to help manage the game. And it can be played in multiple ways. My favorite way to personally play this is cooperatively. It is Stop Thief. So it's a game in which you are going around trying to find thieves that are going to one of 4 stores and stealing stuff.
They won't stop stealing stuff.
They are all about the stealing. And the way that you track people down is you get audio clues. You get clues of people like walking inside, breaking a window, opening a door, alarms going off when they're robbing. And based on the series of clues that you get, you start to narrow down where this person could be. Because you're like, they couldn't have walked and then gone through a window immediately into a door if they're in this store. They must be in this store or that store. And you try to narrow it down. It's really fun to play cooperatively because then you can get multiple cops kind of trying to surround these people. You're trying to get like a gang of 7 thieves. Before they steal $50,000, which makes you just look really bad in the eyes of the chief, and you lose. And it's just a really fun puzzle to play where you're like sitting and trying to think desperately like, no. It was a door. It was 2 doors. and then there's a walking sound, then they robbed, and they walked again, and you're trying to think
Yeah.
back to it all. It's just really fun to put together
Yes,
a puzzle.
I agree. It's great. Outstanding game.
Bam! That's my 36.
All right. My number 36 is a city building game. I quite like city building games.
It's a great mechanic.
It's a
Mine
great
theme, whatever you call it.
It is a city building game that's full of I was making a dumb joke about right angles that wouldn't have worked. My game's Quadropolis. It's 36. I was gonna say it's a game with a lot of right angles because it's all squares and quads. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Who cares about my life? So Quadropolis is my number 36. Quadropolis is a city building game that has a very interesting tile drafting and tile allocation mechanic.
Yeah.
Essentially, there's a big central board, and then everyone has their own player board. The big central board has all the tiles that you can get on it. And then each person has 4 tiles with workers on them that are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. And essentially, and they're kind of big arrows. And so what it is, around this board, you're going to put it with an arrow pointing in, and whatever number's on there, you count that many in, and then that's the tile you get. So if I put the 3 here, I count 1, 2, 3, that's the tile I'm getting. And it's super interesting. So you're you have to figure out with your numbers, because you have 1 through 4, where on the board I can put it. Because you can put it anywhere. The only thing you can't do is you can't put it on top of someone else.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly okay, I need to get this one. Oh, it's going to take a 4. Oh, but I can reach it on a 2 over here if this spot was already taken. And it's just super interesting. And then wherever on your own personal board, it's on a grid. And then essentially it's this is column 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is row 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever number you took the tile with, so I put down number 3, that means that has to go in either column 3 or row 3.
Right, yep.
So you have another thing to think about in terms of okay, I want to grab this one with a 2, but I need to put it in the 2 column or the 2 row. Is that good for me? Because a lot of tile placement games, putting them next to certain things is good, putting them next to other things is bad. And it's just great. It's super great. It's also language independent, which is something we just generally enjoy. It's got a super good player aid, as a lot of Days of Wonder games do. Quadropolis is a great tile city building game. If you like those kinds of games, if you like something like Suburbia or something like that, try out Quadropolis. It's a wonderful. I love it. 36.
Wow. Good call, man. Let's do number 35.
Alrighty, let's do it. Oh.
You meant to say it was meant to say 35. Super awkward.
You feeling okay?
I feel weird and empty inside, which I usually do, but it feels worse right now.
Yeah. You look thin, butter scraped over too much bread, you know?
Good reference. Man, I don't... Oh, you know what it is?
Huh.
I'm about to get Cricket Wireless, and I think when I found out that Cricket Wireless existed, you realize oh yeah, my life is meaningless, and I have nothing inside me.
Right.
You know what
find
I mean?
the holes within your old plan and everything
Exactly.
like that. So
but I feel
you
once
wanna change.
I sign the dotted line, I get Cricket Wireless, I'm gonna be whole again, you know?
Yeah, 'cause you look totally different.
Right? I
everything
feel
about you
different.
seems different.
Okay, good. I'm
Must
glad
be
someone else
Cricket.
noticed it, because it's not just me.
All right, it's Cricket Wireless. All right.
Okay, cool, yeah.
All right, shoot.
All right, cool, awesome.
Just wanted to make sure. It's just I could tell us something. I couldn't place
I know, something weird. Alrighty, 35?
Yeah, what's your 35, speaking of?
35 is my favorite of these 2 games, and that is a game called King Domino. I talked about Queen Domino a number of lists ago, but I prefer King Domino. And ultimately, I understand that Queen Domino is probably a better game, but King Domino I like because it's so simple, because it's so quick that I can teach this game to a bunch of noobs in 5 minutes and play it in 15. And it's just accessible and fun and pretty and easy, and just I just love it. I love King Domino. King Domino is a tile laying game where you are trying to match up terrain types and essentially make big terrain types. The bigger the better generally. And it's simple and it's easy, and it won the Spiel des Jahres recently, and it's just it's just such a good gateway game, and such a good, ultimately a filler, because again, 20 minutes out, it's great. I love King Domino. King Domino is just one of my go-to fillers and one of my go-to, like, I'm going to introduce people to a new game, to gaming in general, and, you know, one of my go-to gateway games at this point because it's so easy and pretty and nice and smooth and just streamlined, but still tough because you're like, I got to make a 5x5 grid, so like,
Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely decisions to be made and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know, I really, really enjoy King Domino. I like it more than Queen Domino. Both are great, but I do prefer this one just because of the sheer simplicity. That's really what it is. You know, I thought that was what was going to make me feel not empty. It wasn't King Domino, but okay. I'm glad I found what was going to make it.
My number 35, I don't like to feel empty, and I don't like to just keep it simple because I'm a real board gamer, so my 35 is Queen Domino.
No, it's not. Yeah. Is it really? It's awesome! It's amazing.
We talked about this before. Nick and I are flipped on which of the dominoes we like more.
Yeah.
I like Queen Domino more than King Domino. But everything Nick said about King Domino is absolutely accurate. King Domino will forever get played more often than Queen Domino.
Yeah.
Because you can play it anywhere.
And that's one reason I think I probably like it more is because it just gets played so much more. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, it's like 2, 3, 4 times more than Queen Domino.
100%.
Yeah.
But if you do want to go a little bit deeper, have a little bit more of a gamer experience, have a game that's going to go a little bit longer, I love Queen Domino because I love the fact that you're doing the same base stuff. You're building into a grid that has to be a certain size. You have to match land types, but then you have these buildings.
Yeah.
And the buildings offer all sorts of changes where now maybe instead of going for big areas, you want to have a bunch of small areas of forest, a bunch of small areas of water. You just want to build statues to get straight up points. You want to create crowns that make your building areas score points on their own.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of options that are brought to you by these building spaces and the buildings you can build on top of them. There's just little ways to get money and stuff. So it's just like more stuff to think about. And I really like it because I love King Domino so much. King Domino laid that foundation that like Queen Domino then takes it and soars with it. Even if it won't get played as often because King Domino is so easy to get to the table.
That's okay, yeah.
So yeah, my number 35 is Queen Domino.
Wow.
Both are great,
cool.
though.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
cool. Alrighty. I'm going to go. I got to sign my Queer Wireless contract.
Okay,
so when I come back, hopefully I'll look better.
It's a 5-year contract, but I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
All right. When we get back, I'll do 34.
Sounds good. Cool. Sounds good.
I forgot to film number 34. It's a callback. It's a callback to a few videos ago. Oh yes, I hope you're enjoying it. Who knows? Is it terrible? We'll find out, eh? It's probably great. Those bing bongs.
What's wrong with you?
I'm trying to do these top 10s when I can't breathe.
Oh.
I'm all congested and whatnot. Half of the state's on fire.
That's an issue, yeah.
I know, I feel like it just...
Have you ever tried Vicks?
No, man.
Vicks Vapor Rub?
It seems like pseudoscience.
No, man. You just rub it on your chest, and then these little animals come out, and they start tapping into your lungs, and they get in there, and they mine it out like the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White.
Oh, that sounds whimsical and fun.
Yeah,
they do this
great.
when I sleep, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's painful, but you sleep through it.
And they disappear by sunlight?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't sound like pseudoscience-y.
They don't lay eggs in you, don't worry.
Okay.
All right, cool. Sweet. Number 34, Mikey, take it away.
So my number 34 is a game that's been mentioned by you. It's a 2-player version of a game, and it makes it cooperative. It is Codenames Duet. It's such a fun duet. Codenames, now that I can breathe. It's just like Codenames is a fun party game anyhow.
It's fine, yeah.
I like it, but I love playing Codenames Duet because I love that you're working together and you have the same exact setup as Codenames, but now like the way that the clues work where we have to get 15 words between us.
Yeah.
We're going to have, I think 6 each that are unique and then 3 overlaps to get to 15. And the thing that messes with your mind is like, there's 3 things that if you say, it's going to kill us. But if I say them, they might just be clues for you.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying desperately to like link together stuff. And you only have like 9 clues total all game.
Yeah.
And you have to get 15 words. So it forces you to find connections between things that maybe have nothing in common. And so it makes it very difficult and fun. And there's kind of a fun little campaign system, which simply will mess with like how many clues you're allowed to give, how many mistakes you're allowed to make, stuff like that. But I really love playing through that campaign.
Yeah, it's very
going
fun.
around the world and just seeing like how hard can you make the game
Sometimes
and
they're
still somehow
hard.
win.
Yeah.
And it takes all the fun of Codenames and just makes it co-op and one-on-one, and it's just like my favorite way to play by far.
Yeah,
so
totally. I completely
Codenames
agree.
Duet, all the stuff Nick said, same thing for me. Codenames Duet rips. I love it.
Indeed. All right, my number 34 is by Bang Bang, Restoration Games, actually. Happy accident. And you talked about this
Last list?
last list, I believe. Yes. This is
Was
a
either
racing
that or
game.
like 2 seconds ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not that one. That's a racing game. Sorry. You get the lists mixed up. This is a racing game by the name of Downforce. Downforce is a really great game. It's a racing game, but the best part about Downforce is my biggest problem with a lot of racing games is like, if you get way behind, you're kind of out of it. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of
you're
times
just-
you're
you're dead in
essentially
the
usually
water.
hoping for someone to crash because then you might be able to catch up.
Yeah.
And I still really like that. Like, I hope you fail. Whereas this one, it's like you can be in dead last place, but if you bet really well, you can win the game because the game is won by whoever has the most money. So throughout the game, one, you get a certain amount of money based off what place your car comes in. So you do want to place well if
helps.
you can.
Yeah.
But after that, there are 3 times throughout the race. The race is just one lap of the track. 3 times at the race, you have to bet on who you think is going to win. So you don't have to bet on yourself. I can bet on Mike the whole time. If Mike's got just killing it and I'm way back in Albuquerque, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to bet on me. There's no point. I'm going to bet on Mike instead. And if I bet like a champ, it really doesn't matter that much how my car personally does.
Yeah.
And I find that to be so fascinating and such a good way to get into racing games because then it's not nearly as like, oh, I hate you. I want to do better. It's like sometimes you're helping people out. A lot of times because you have no choice, because when you play these cards, these speed cards that allow cars to move, you almost never are moving just your car. You're almost always moving at least 2. Sometimes you're moving all 6 cars. So you constantly have to move. So depending on what card you play in what order, you want to move cars in different ways to bottleneck and block each other. It's just an absolute blast. It's quick. It's super easy to teach. It's just, at this point, there's an expansion out, so there's 4 different maps for it because they're all
Yeah.
double-sided.
A lot of playability there, yeah.
Oh, it's just a blast. An absolute blast. That I hope they keep expanding because I'm like, just give me more maps and more player powers because everyone else has a little player power.
Then we're good.
More maps, more player powers. You don't do nothing else. Keep it rolling. I love it, love it, love it. Downforce is my number 34. It's the best.
Pow. 33, Nick, what you got? Prat.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's actually 33 in binary.
Alrighty, number 33.
It's brought to you by Gandalf the White.
Whoa.
Because this is awesome. J.R.R. Tolkien created an amazing character in Gandalf the Grey. This dude fought one of the ancient ones, a Balrog, and after Gandalf fell, Tolkien said, no, let's make him stronger. Just bring him back, and now he has unlimited power. I love that they did that. Take the most powerful dude and be like, not enough. Give him more juice! And bring him back. Gandalf the White. Plus, I'm listening to Lord of the Rings, so I'm just all in.
It's very prominent right now.
All right. Bye, you fools. But I'll be back.
Fly, you fools, but don't fly very far because I'll be back. My number 33 is a game. It's a deck building game, and it's a game where you are delving down into a dungeon and trying to steal from a dragon.
Stop.
Yep.
Get out.
Number 33
Nope, stop.
is Clank,
Get out of this house.
a deck building adventure.
Stop. Get out of this house. It's not even in the 20s. Are you kidding me? How dare you? My former number 1. Maybe still.
It's not even number 1.
It probably isn't, but how dare you? How dare you?
Number 33 is Clank.
I'm burning all the expansions.
Specifically Clank, not Clank in Space. I like Clank in Space just fine, but I personally like normal Clank better.
I'm so upset.
I do. When this one came out on my list, I was like, Mike's going to be mad about
How
where this
dare
one
you? Clank is amazing. Go ahead.
Clank is my number 33. I love it. It's a great deck builder where you're deck building and you're delving down into this dungeon to try to steal treasure from a dragon.
You don't deserve Gandalf the White.
At the end of the game, whoever has the most treasure or treasure or booty or money or whatever, all that's considered treasure, at the end of the game wins. And you're getting these cards that are super powerful. They allow you to move. They allow you to buy more stuff. There's also monsters down there that you can attack. It's just very, very great. But the point of the game is you're making clank. Clank is noise. You're essentially going like clank, clank, running into stuff. And so as you make more noise, you're putting cubes of your color in a bag. And then throughout the game, the dragon starts attacking because she's really upset that you're stealing all her gold.
As she should be.
So then when you have to do a dragon attack, you randomly go into the bag and draw out a certain amount of cubes. And then if your cubes come up, you got hit by the dragon. So the thing is, you don't want to make a ton of noise because that means more and more of your cubes are going in the bag. And it's just such a fun way to like push your luck, add it on top of a really great deck builder. good mid-30s deck builder, and just wonderful, wonderful game. I love Clank to death, despite how upset he is. I really like the game a lot. And we at this point have, I think, all the expansions for normal Clank, and it's like now we have tons of boards to choose from. Love Clank. It's the best. It's actually not. There's 32 better, but that's my number 33.
Oh man,
I knew that was gonna
hurt. That one hurt. My number 33 has been mentioned by you. It's a game we don't own. This is among the highest. There's a couple more that are higher that we also don't own, but this is a really great game that we will own very soon. It's World's Fair 1893.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is higher than on my list.
Yeah.
When it hadn't come up yet, I assumed it wasn't on your list. Wow.
Well, yeah, because for a while you had played it a couple times.
I played it a couple times.
I still hadn't had a chance.
It's good. It's good.
And it was one of those ones that I always seen people playing, and I was like, I don't get it. What's going on? And Nick would say, like, it's an area control game, and I would just see the Ferris wheel and stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It doesn't look like an area control.
I could not understand it at all.
That's fair.
And then we sat and played it. I'm like, oh, it's a really simple game.
Where did we play first? Dice Tower Con?
Probably.
With like Kent and stuff?
It might have been that time.
Yeah, I think that was
so
it.
It's fairly new to me.
Yeah.
I really like it because it's simple. You put a cube in one of the 5 areas that you want to kind of get more influence in. You pick up all the cards that are there. You might get midway tickets, which will help give you like money and stuff with your points. And they'll help move time forward, and you can get different cards that are going to help. If you get like 3 green cards and you also take the green area, you get to turn those into tokens. So that's going to be nice. You can get those people that Nick was talking about that'll help you like move cubes around, add extra cubes to gain more influence. It's a really light, simple game that plays quickly. Everything that Nick said, I agree with. Now that I've played it, I'm like, now I get the area control nature and the cubes and stuff. But it was just one that people were explaining. I was just like, I don't know anything about what you just said. That doesn't make any sense to me. And now I love it. So World's Fair 1893.
Wow,
really want to get it. It's a great game. Yeah, I like it.
That's awesome.
I just want to get it and play it more because it's gonna be a good one for like game night, so you can kind of fit in between stuff.
Totally.
It's a great game.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. All right, let's move on to 32.
Let's do it, my dude.
32.
Of Railroads and Highways and Railroad Inc.
Okay.
This is a game that we've got at Gen Con. I'm really digging on the idea of rolling rights. I want more and more of them.
Yeah.
I love them because you can play with kind of infinite amount of people. This one is just really fun because you're building a little network of railroads. You roll these dice 7 times. There's 4 dice, and then you have to put whatever comes up into your network somewhere. And it might have a straight railroad or a highway on a turn or a highway on a T or a station that turns from a highway to a railroad on a curve. And you just have to add them in and hopefully connect exits to other exits. You want to have your highways and railroads be able to go anywhere and everywhere to score points. And I just love it because it's just a big fun puzzle where we're going to roll the same dice. We get the same stuff each round. And our things are going to look completely different by the end. Completely different.
It's like you think there'd be like some kind of weird hive mind where we all do the same thing. You
apparently
do not.
Like because you're like, no, well, I see it this over here. They might be able to come over there and connect to those 3 things. And you meanwhile like, I'm just going to take this right down here because I know I can connect it instead of rolling the dice on, whether or not I'm going to connect it some way somehow. And it comes with there's 2 versions of it. There's Railroad Deep Blue Edition and Blazing Red or something like that. That are like the same base game with a couple little expansions in that there's just 2 dice. There's on ours, we have the blue one, we have Rivers and Lakes. So that adds like a little extra flavor if you want a little extra challenge. Yeah. Or you can just play the base game. And it's just a go-to, bring it wherever you want, play it because you can play it in a pretty small area. And takes, 10-15 minutes to play through. I just love it. I love all these rolling rights that are going on. And that one, there's someone like Welcome To and stuff, which I really, really love. But there are more rules to keep track of and more things to do. Yeah. Railroad Inc. really kind of like keeps it pretty simple. It's like just make the shapes and stuff that are on the dice, put those in your network somewhere, and hopefully make it make sense. Yeah. And that's it. So, Railroad Inc. is my 32.
Cool. I love it. All right. My number 32 is I would probably say my go-to gateway game. It's probably the top, and that is just base vanilla Carcassonne.
All right,
and it is my favorite version of Carcassonne. No expansions, no any of these. Nope, just base. I don't even like playing with farmers. I'm talking about
I don't either. I don't get the farmers thing.
I'm talking about maybe add the river little mini expansion. But I'm talking about just monasteries, cities, and roads. And that is my favorite version of Carcassonne. It's just so simple. It's so easy. I used to work at a rehab. And I started a game group in my rehab because board games are really good for like developmental stuff, which is why you should play them with your kids if you have kids. Because it helps you think, and analyze all this kind of stuff. And for drug addicts, they damage their brains a lot. So I used to play board games with them, and my go-to game was Carcassonne. Yeah. It was just by far the game we played the most. It had decisions and thinking and like pattern recognition and stuff, and it was really, really great. And it's just, so I played it a ton, and I was like, and I got so used to like bringing it out with new people and stuff like that it just became to the point now where I'm like, if I had to choose one gateway game, it'd be Carcassonne. And just because it's so interesting, it's so different. Yeah. Like even something like Ticket to Ride, which is considered one of the best gateway games, it's like, yeah, it's very different than normal mass market games, but it's still like on a board. You still have cards and stuff. Carcassonne is something you've never seen before if you've never played like hobby games, because the board starts off as one tile and you're just building the board, and it's different every single time.
So cool, I love it.
And you always have to match scenery, so it always makes sense. And it's just it's
a satisfying game.
The amount of times I've gotten that game and been like, dang, that was cool. Like, and from young addicts who don't think anything's cool, except
it's not cool to think something's cool.
Exactly. So it's just like, and I love it, and I really grew to love it through playing it at my work, and I just love Carcassonne. Base vanilla Carcassonne. I don't need anything else. We have Carcassonne Amazonas. I love that one too.
Yeah.
But just base vanilla Carcassone, that's my jam. I love it.
Nice.
32, that's where it's at.
Nicely done, dude. I dig it. Let's get into 31 and wrap this list out. What do you think?
Wow. Yeah.
31. Wait for it. Okay, what?
You know what's been on my mind lately?
What?
Dude, Smallville. Remember?
Small World? Smallville. The show?
The CW show?
Where they try to convince us that a 38-year-old model is a 16-year-old?
And he did it convincingly. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's a grown man.
Smallville?
Yeah, dude, think about it, man. Think about the time when a show was just purely based on angst. Just angst. All the ladies in that show made you feel feelings. All the men in that show made you feel feelings. It was just, there's so much going on. Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. Treasure. He's a treasure. Love that show. It's hot cheese. But it's my hot cheese. Give me some nachos.
Is 31 really brought to us by... Did they pay us to say this?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I just have the series on DVD and I'm thinking about rewatching it.
Oh my gosh. 31. My number 31 is a game where...
It's like, what's he doing before he had the cape? That show delves into that.
I love the premise. The fact that it's like, what's like teenage car clan?
I love the premise and everything about it. Yeah, you're right. It's great.
My number 31 is a game. We're talking about lives to live. You can live whatever life you want in this game. This game is like the game of life, but an actual game.
Get out of my house.
What?
You are just so upsetting. Go ahead.
Because it is high? Because it's not even in the 20s. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I guess this game should be higher.
I should let you announce the game before I yell at you. Go ahead.
This game is The Pursuit of Happiness. The Pursuit of Happiness is I can't. It's wow. Is that much higher? Huh? Okay. Pursuit of Happiness is a game. It's like the game of life, but a worker placement game. So you are deciding how you want your life. You can get jobs. You can get into relationships. You can get hobbies. You could like build a computer. There's all these different activities and stuff you can do. But it's a worker placement game. But it's so cool because the workers are time. And it's little time things.
How are you spending your time in your life?
Yeah, and as you get a job, if you start getting higher end jobs, they start taking some of your workers are just out because you have to spend that time is already to go towards your job. As you get deeper into a relationship, you start spending more and more time with that person. You start in a family and stuff like that. Also, now it's going to take 2 of your time, which means 2 of your workers are gone because, like, look, you got to take care of this child, Frank, and it's just like... But it's like, it's so cool. And then you can get hobbies, and some hobbies take time. You're like, you know what? I'm living that hot tub life. And
in my hot tub.
And you can just live. This game is so much like, there's some games where like, I really, really, really do not care if I win or lose. Because I'm just having so much fun living these insane lives where I'm like, look, I got 1 hot tub, 1 game collection, a ceremonial Russian doll collection, 2 girlfriends, 3 boyfriends. Because you can just have as many relationships as you want. Yeah. And you're like, and it's just great. You're like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna have hecka relationships, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be terrible. But as you add more relationships, you start getting super stressed out because
you give your time to that many people. You're like, that's stressful.
You're like, I don't care. I'm swinging all around. It's great, and it's just great because as each round you advance in age. So you have like the first round you're like a teenager, and then you have a bunch of rounds, like 3 or 4 rounds where you're an adult. But then you enter old age, and as you enter old age, you start getting more and more stress, and you eventually die from stress. You just straight up die from a heart attack. Everyone dies from a heart attack. There's literally no way to not die from a heart attack. I love it. It's so much fun to just live the life, whatever life you want. You're like, you know what? Hot tubs and Cheez-Its, that's it.
That's it.
And it's just like, and you can just see if it works. And a lot of times it does, you know? Like, it's just the stories you tell. Like, in terms of the mechanics, it's a pretty normal worker placement game. Yeah. But this is a game, if you get into the theme, is one of the best game experiences you'll have because it's just so much fun to live these ridiculous lives.
Yeah, I love it so much. And you got to play with the right people that just get into it.
Oh yeah, if you're playing people who are like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, if you go with anyone who's like, I'm just trying to
computer
win,
collection, I'm like, what are you doing?
Then you're playing the wrong game for the wrong reasons.
Go play.
Anything else.
Anything.
Where, like, it's just things like this one. I'm like, I just want to have like a fun, silly life.
Yeah.
You know, and if I win, cool. If I don't, cool. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like whatever that means to you. And the game really does not push you in one direction. It does not say like you got to have a job.
No, you can do whatever
to have a good life. And you're like, no, I've won games and stuff where I barely had jobs ever.
Barely had jobs.
I just made it somehow or other. Just surfed a lot or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I think that's a good message to put out there in the world. Is like, there's not one right answer to like what a good life means.
Live your life. Yeah. Love it. 31.
Good comment.
It'll probably go up for me. I think
better.
Think so.
Some people already see for what it is, and some people maybe gotta wake up to the truth. You know what I mean? Speaking of that, Nick, I need you to open your mind.
Okay.
I need you to open it up big time. I need you to come right here with me and understand all the things that I want you to understand. But we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, I see.
We're going to stay quiet because we're playing the mind right now.
The mind.
Mind number 31.
This high, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
I love it too.
It's so fun. It's just this great experience.
What's up, haters?
Of putting,
What's up, haters?
Yeah, what's up? It's not even a game. It's barely an activity. A bunch of haters don't get
Super
it.
fun. Super fun game.
Why are you so dead inside? What's wrong with you? The mind is so fun for us. It's just this cool experience of like, you're trying to feel each other out and you're trying to like look and you're like, what does this mean when you do that? What's that mean? Is that good or bad? Does that mean you have a 47 or are you saying you better go punk? Like, I don't know what you're saying and we can't talk about it.
It's true. It's
a
big
fantastic. You know, so you get all the angst of Smallville season 3. You get all of, the action of Smallville season 9. You get all of the games going on too long, like Smallville season 1000.
Yeah, it went way too long.
It did, but the mind doesn't last too long because you're going to lose before you get too far into it. And it's just a fun game that always creates laughs and giggles and just these big moments of like, either in a good or a bad. But it's just for simply like laying down cards, hopefully in numerical order. There's just a lot going on. You get excited. It's helped me create like very deep conversations with people where we all kind of opened up and talked about like the issues of today and stuff. It's because we played the mind. Yeah. Like that tripped me out, man. It's like it totally was because of that. And I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've just always had fun playing this game. It's always a cool experience. So hey, 31 the mind. Cool. Why not? Sometimes that simplicity at its finest.
Totally. It's great. I love it.
Just a deck of cards and staring.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's it for this list, guys.
All right, number 31. Thank you so much for joining for yet another top 10. We're about to hit the last third.
Man.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Let's do it.
Oh gosh. But thank you so much for joining us again. Please make sure to check out our YouTube channel, our Twitch channel, where we talk about games, where we play games live and do all sorts of cool stuff.
If you're digging what we do more top 10s and stuff over there. So please give a subscription.
Yes.
Check out our channel. We have Twitch stuff that we do live as well. So you can see us playing these games we've been talking about live on the internet.
It's really, really fun. Join us over there. And until next time, we'll be in the top 30.
Top 30. Here we go, man.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's get ready to rock it. Cheers,
bang,
everybody.
Bang.
I said cheers, said cheers. I was going to say see you later. Then I remember I like to say cheers and do one of these. Just a cheers, kid,
Sears
and Robux.